All right, everybody, I got more Owl House to talk about. Season 3 is right around the corner. With every passing day, it gets closer and closer, and I'm getting more and more excited. So, I've already made a theory video just a few days ago, and I want to talk a little bit more about some, bonus theories, plus things that I want to see happen in Season 3. So these things are less of predictions. I guess they can go hand in hand with predictions, but they're more things that I would like to see rather than outright theories themselves. Firstly, though, one thing that I thought was pretty cool is Disney has released a synopsis for Thanks to Them, the first special of Season 3 coming out on October 15th. And the synopsis is, after months of trying, Luz and friends make a daring attempt to return to the demon realm. So, that's already one prediction of mine that came true, because in my last video I said it's probably been, a few months. I think I might have said a few or a couple, I can't remember. I think I said a few and a couple, but whatever. It's been a few months, which is cool, so that's already correct. I mean, it's pretty easy to tell. I mean, with these obvious changes to the characters, of course there's going to be some sort of time skip, but now it's confirmed that it's a few months later, so that means they've been trying for months to try and get back to the demon realm, and they say they make a daring attempt to return to the demon realm, as if the previous ones weren't daring. It's definitely going to be an attempt that raises the stakes, if you'd ask me. Probably going to be involving Belos somehow. Anyways, that's pretty cool, but now I wanted to talk about some of my other wishes, predictions, that kind of stuff. The first thing, now that the few-month time skip has been confirmed, when the Owl House first started, Luz was entering a summer camp, right? That lasts for like 3 months or so. So this probably takes place in the very beginning of summer, probably like around May or June. And now it is going to be in the fall. If you look at the poster, it's definitely in the fall. So that's making me wonder, what are they going to do about school? Because Luz is, what, she's 14 going on 15, I think? So that means she's going to be entering high school? Is she going to be in high school during this time? Or maybe like finishing middle school? I don't really know. I think it's like 14 is when you're in 8th grade going on to 9th grade. I forget off the top of my head. I think it just depends on when you were born. Like, is Luz going to even be in school? If it's been a few months, this is after the Boiling Isles, so she's spent months in the Boiling Isles, and then she's spent even more months trying to get back to the Boiling Isles. So this whole time, has she been in school? Like, has she been working, trying to get back to the demon realm while also taking classes? And then it makes you wonder, what about the other 4? And potentially even V as well. Are they in school too? Are they just hiding in Camila's house? Like, what's up with that? I'm very confused. I wonder if school's even gonna be a thing. Maybe Camila's like, oh, I'll just quote-unquote homeschool you, but not actually, but I don't know, because I feel like Camila would understand that Luz needs her education, but also understand that, like, she has to help her get her friends back home. It's a very complex situation, of course, and she's probably filled her mom in on all the details. I'm really just curious about what they're gonna do with school. If it's even gonna show up in the plot at all, we'll have to see. Next up is another thing that I'd like to see. By the way, none of these things are in any particular order. I kind of just wrote these down as I was thinking about them. What I want to see, though, is Camila versus Belos. I remember back before Season 2B even came out, I think actually at the beginning of Season 1, I remember I was coming up with my own theories, and I was like, okay, so Luz's mom is like a character that's definitely really important to the show. I was wondering, what if she came into the actual Boiling Isles? Maybe that'll happen here. But I was thinking, like, okay, here's how I picture the final battle going. I theorized that, like, Camila is gonna come to the Boiling Isles to try and defend her daughter, and she's gonna be super mad at Belos for everything that he's done to her. So I think seeing Camila versus Belos would be really, really cool, because I always really like seeing parents protecting their children, especially, like, seeing somebody like Camila who takes off her freaking sandal and kills Jacob or whatever with it. Not actually kills, but you know what I mean. So I think it'd be really interesting to see Camila maybe like going in on Belos with the bat that she has. Like, I don't know, I just think that'd be a really interesting thing to see. And Camila, I'm sure, has plenty of words to say to Belos, and then Belos can pull a Thanos and be like, I don't even know who you are, or something like that. My next thing that I want to see is Luz and Amity meeting the author. Because we had that entire side plot that honestly didn't really go anywhere in Any Sport in a Storm. Luz and Amity are going on this quest to, like, find the author. It just feels like there's no point to it. It just felt like a waste of screen time, because, like, they were going on this quest and then just nothing happened. It was just, oh, it was Tibbles, haha, it was funny Tibbles, everybody hates Tibbles, funny, kill Tibbles, die Tibbles, everybody hates Tibbles. But I think that could be potential build-up, considering they were like, okay, so the author is a human, maybe they can meet the author on Earth. And I'm also having some theories about the author themselves. Maybe the author could be a resident of the Boiling Isles. Like maybe they are a witch and they've come to the human realm. Maybe that's a possibility. That'd be really cool. Maybe like the author could help them even get back to the Boiling Isles. I doubt it, but I just feel like the author could be extremely important. I'm saying the author as in every time I say the author, I think of like frickin' Gravity Falls, the author. It's bringing me back to like those days, but it's definitely nowhere near as important. But I feel like the author could be like somebody pretty important, considering how much inspiration it gave to Luz. And then kind of a follow-up from that, talking about Luzura, and maybe the fact that Good Witch Luz / Luzura will actually be a thing, like based off Azura from the books. I think I remember even seeing the round table have they had like a thumbnail all about it. I didn't actually watch the theory video, but I think they made like a video about like, oh, will Luz get powers, like actual magical powers in season 3? And honestly, I don't see that happening. It could happen, I guess, but I don't really know why it would happen. It'd be kind of cool, but I guess it would make sense considering they've like talked about Luz has like pretended to be Luzura several times throughout the show. She's known to be a big fan of Azura, so I think like bringing back Luzura, or even like truly making Luzura, as in like actually giving her magical powers, could be really interesting. So that is actually something I'd like to see. Do I think it'll happen? I don't know. I can't really say. Even further than that, I'm wondering if the Azura books will give them more ideas and inspiration to carry on through their journey, because they've gotten several ideas from the journals, right? Back in Coven Day Parade, the whole idea that Luz had was from the Azura book.
How did you know? Book 5, Chapter 8, Azura pretends to kidnap Hecate during the Ice Festival to save her from the Wizard Clan.
Maybe the books can give them some more ideas about how to get back to the Boiling Isles, maybe even defeat the Collector. We'll have to see. Next thing I'd like to see, and I think this one's almost a gimme, I want to see Luz visiting her dad's grave. Because surely they're in a graveyard, it's right on the frickin' promotional poster, and I want to see Luz visit her dad's grave. Because we had that whole episode with her dedicated to the day about her father and how she spent it with her mother, like remembering him. So I think it would be really interesting. Like even like going there with Camila and Amity, or even just everybody. I think it would be a really nice moment for Luz. That thing is like, since there's so much cut content, it's really hard to say like if this will even happen. But I think it would make for a really nice scene. Luz visiting her dad's grave. Next up, I have on here, Luz makes Earth friends. Now this is pretty simple on its own, but it actually works into like the whole thing about the Owl House in general, because you know, remember the friends that V made from the camp, right? Because like she was totally cool with them and they think that she's Luz. And I'm hoping that in the time that Luz spends on Earth before she goes back to the Boiling Isles, maybe she'll get to interact with some of her classmates, maybe she'll get to interact with some of V's friends and then become friends with that friend group. Considering they're kind of nerdy like Luz, they have the whole Hexus Hold'em cards and all that, so I feel like they would actually get along, and that would really help Luz for when she has to return home, because honestly, if we're thinking about it, who's gonna join Luz on Earth? Because I've been thinking about how the Owl House will end. You know, they're definitely not gonna pull a Star Force of Evil and combine the two worlds. I just don't see that happening. What I think is gonna happen, if I can predict 2 characters that are going to stay on Earth, I think Hunter will stay on Earth, and Amity. I say that because what is left for Amity in the Boiling Isles? Her mom doesn't love her. She doesn't care about her. Well, she does, kind of. I don't know. I don't know how to think about that trash Dahlia. Alador, he's there. I mean, she obviously does care about her dad, but like, Alador's never really been that good of a parent. Like, he's tried. He's trying to, you know, fix things. I don't know. I feel like Amity can kind of go either way, because with Aldalia gone and Alador finally realizing his mistakes, he can finally try and like fix the family, the Blight family. And obviously she's still got her 2 siblings, which she loves and cares about. But I just remember this one phrase that Emera said to Amity, saying something like,
I'm thinking things I've never thought before. I'm feeling things I never used to feel. Is that so bad? You weren't happy before.
And it's like, well, maybe you want to continue that happiness and stay with Luz on Earth. I don't know. I just think that's a real possibility. And like same with Hunter. I feel like there's nothing left for Hunter on the Boiling Isles. Because like, everything there was just a lie to him. He's basically a clone of a human. Like, he doesn't have any magic. Why not just come to Earth? And he loves researching, right? That's his thing. He loves researching. He's smart. I feel like he could totally become like a scholar or something. I don't know, he could like become like a professor on Earth. I think that'd be so cool, like if Hunter ended up being a teacher or something. I don't know, I feel like that would really fit his character because he loves telling people about stuff, he loves learning. I don't know, I think it'd be really unique. But then again, you also have like Hunter and Willow's relationship, and I don't see Willow ever staying on Earth, so I don't know. I'm just saying the two most likely characters from the Boiling Isles who would want to go anywhere would be Hunter and Amity. And maybe even King too. Honestly, King, maybe, because like when King leaves the Boiling Isles, there's no more Titans on the Boiling Isles, and maybe that'll be a good thing. You know, maybe we don't need Titans on the Boiling Isles anymore. And what is King gonna do in the human realm? With like, he's got Titan blood, but like he's gonna chill with Luz probably. Like what's he gonna do? I mean, he probably can't do that because then again, he's gonna grow up to be really massive, and then eventually other humans will find him. So yeah, that wouldn't even happen. I feel like there's like points that you could make where any character could stay on the Boiling Isles, but I just don't see that happening. Either way though, I hope Luz makes some friends on Earth during this time in season 3 before all her friends return to the Boiling Isles and leave her behind, because that's just what's gonna happen, and she needs friends. She's gonna be lonely. Next up, this one's pretty short. This is just a really small thing. I just want to see Gus going crazy over human stuff. Like, I'd love to see him obsess about, like, I don't know, going to the zoo or something. That's like, if we had a season 3, there definitely should have been like a zoo episode with Gus. Like if there's gonna be like some nice, for example, like the beach day that Ida was talking about, how like, oh, you could have just like a relaxing day on the beach, but we don't have time for that. Let's say like, oh, Lumity are going out on some date, and then like a B plot could be Gus at the zoo and he's freaking out over giraffes. Like I want to at least see him doing a little bit of stuff like that. Even if there's not a lot of time, we just know that Gus is like super obsessed and interested by human culture and objects and whatever stuff we got. I just want to see him freak out over that stuff. I think it's really cool. Next up, I want to see Luz and Hunter spill the beans about what happened in Hollow Mine. Because here's the thing, Gus already knows. He probably knows pretty much everything. I'm just going to assume that he knows everything. It'd just make it easier if that was the case. I feel like Gus, him being a lot younger, would want to tell the others. He feel like it'd be necessary to tell Willow and Amity. Like, they deserve to know. They freaking deserve to know. And Camila, too. So they'll probably find out that Hunter's a Grimwalker. Obviously, that sucks for Hunter, but he's still Hunter at the end of the day. Grimwalker or not, like, they're still going to be his friends. So I don't think they'd really care about that. And then Luz didn't even know she helped Belos, so honestly, it's not even like something they really keep a secret. They're just scared of how their friends will react. Again, I just want to see them spill the beans and have like a nice little scene about saying like, hey, why were you worried about that? We're all friends. We're here together. You made some mistakes that you didn't know were mistakes. And Hunter, you didn't even make a mistake. You just are you. I don't know. I just want to see a scene where they talk about it, or at least maybe if they talked about it during the time skip, maybe at least allude to how they felt about it. Next thing I want to see, this one's also pretty simple. I want to see Harpy Lilith. I think it'd be really cool to see Harpy Lilith, especially like maybe she could team up with Ida and they could just go like Harpy mode together and just go crazy, because Lilith's got the owl beast inside of her too, and obviously she's nowhere near at the level that she can control it with Ida, because the only reason Ida can even do Harpy Ida is because of the sleeping nettle cookies or whatever that Hootie gave to her. So maybe she can go through the same process and bond with the owl beast. I don't know. Ida's definitely dealt with it a lot longer than Lilith has. Like Lilith's only had it for a few months. Ida's had it for decades. So I don't think Harpy Lilith would happen, but if it does, I think that'd be really cool. Then I also want to talk about some more collector, how to defeat the collector theories. So you were all telling me some very interesting stuff in the comments of my last video about how, like, I was talking about how I think the collector will be defeated, and I saw two to three, I guess I should say, 2 to 3 really good theories. The first theory is the Mindscape theory, because we have been in two people's minds before, or at least we have seen. We've seen the inside of Willow's mind, and we've seen the inside of Belos' mind. Is it possible to enter the collector's mind? Maybe. Now, he is a very different character. He is the child of the stars. We don't know what species he is. We don't know if the same rules apply to him. We don't even know if we can enter his mind. But if we can, I think it'd be really unique to look inside the collector's mindscape, see what he's all about, see what his true goals are behind all the childish fun. And maybe it is just childish fun, who knows. And maybe you could take him down from the inside. Like, you know how Willow's mind was almost destroyed thanks to how the pictures were burning? Maybe you could do that to the collector. That'd be like a really cheap way to kill him. Just take a bunch of photos and then burn the photos so he loses all his memories. But I don't know, I feel like that's a real option that you could do. Or if nothing else, like a Mindscape could be a weak point for the collector. I doubt it though. I don't really see this one happening, but I think it would be really unique if it was a thing. Next thing is, and I think this is very plausible, honestly, is Raine's Rhapsody. Because we know the effect of Raine's Rhapsody. That thing has a cursed effect everywhere. Like, even to the users. It was affecting Raine, it was affecting Ida herself. It just destroys everything nearby. And that's just the power of the curse, so I don't know if that's enough to take down the Collector. I don't know if the Collector can even be affected by the curse, considering the Collector was the one who found that Owl Beast scroll. I don't think he created it, I think he found it. But maybe Raine's Rhapsody has the power to take down the Collector, or at least stop his abilities. It would sacrifice Ida and Raine in the process, and, you know, I'll get into that a little bit later with some character potential sacrifices. But Ida's curse has always been very important to the story of the Owl House, and in multiple ways, because we have how it's generally just affecting her throughout the show. We have the end of season 1 where she straight up loses her magic and turns into the Owl Beast. Then she splits it apart with Lilith. Then she gets the Harpy mode. Then at the end of season 2, she uses the curse to try and stop the draining spell, even though it failed. But it's just like, so many important points of the Owl House have all revolved around Ida's curse. So we can't just completely forget about it in season 3. And Raine's Rhapsody honestly didn't even get that much time to shine. Like, they were using it, but then they had to stop because Raine was like, I can't let you do this yourself when you have kids to look after, Ida. Like, come on now. Regardless of what happens, whether it's Raine's Rhapsody or not, I would just want to see Ida's curse coming back into the story and maybe even being the key to defeating the Collector. Because again, we still have no idea how to defeat the Collector. I've been seeing a lot of good theories out there, and maybe Dana and the team will surprise us with something completely different, but we'll just have to see. As for the last thing, this is more of just a little discussion, and that's talking about character deaths and who is the most likely to die, I guess, or potentially sacrifice themselves. So I think the characters that are safe are all the children, because I'm pretty sure it's very difficult to show like child character death on screen, like in a kid show. Like, for example, True Colors Amphibia. That situation was pretty rough when they almost had a child die. So obviously there is the whole the trope of main character sacrifices then revives somehow. Like, we've seen that happen in countless kids TV medias. So maybe that could happen. Maybe Luz will sacrifice herself, taking out the Collector, and then she'll be revived. So I don't know. I feel like that's a possibility. But if we're talking to like all the main cast, I think they're all safe. It's gonna have to be like one of the adult characters. Or, honestly, I was thinking the most likely one to die, I was talking about this earlier in my last video, was Flapjack. Because Belos is going to be targeting Palisman, and maybe all the Palisman will die. And, like, he's definitely going to be targeting Flapjack mainly, right? And Flapjack is the main one that he has a grudge with, considering it was Caleb's Palisman, and is now also Hunter's. So, I was talking about how Belos has so many threats in the last video, and Flapjack is definitely going to be the main Palisman he'll want to go after, considering the historical significance and all that stuff. So I could definitely see Flapjack getting destroyed or eaten by Belos. I could see Flapjack sacrificing himself for Hunter. And like I was saying earlier, if Raine's Rhapsody comes back, I could definitely see Ida and Raine sacrificing themselves. That would be really tough. That would be like a really, really tough one to lose both those characters. But I definitely think it's a possibility, sadly. Like, Ida is a cornerstone of the entire freaking show, and I feel like she probably, honestly, more than any other character, she has the highest chance of sacrificing herself, especially since she has the most experience and probably has the means more than anybody else to take down the Collector with her curse and her general knowledge of magic. Like, she probably has the highest chance out of anybody, at least in like a 1-to-1 fight or just anything. She has the highest chance to take out the Collector and potentially even have to sacrifice herself in doing so with the whole curse. So when it comes to King, I don't think we'll see King die. I definitely doubt it. I do think King will be very important in taking out the Collector. I was just talking about how Ida had the biggest means to take out the Collector, but then I guess King does as well because he's literally a Titan. So it's definitely Ida and King. Sorry, I literally just forgot about King there for a sec. I think I was thinking about like general magic as opposed to like Titans or whatever. Yeah, it's definitely Ida, King, and Luz, the main 3 characters. And if Luz gets her like Luzura powers, it'll definitely be those 3. With the means to take out the Collector. But yeah, I definitely want to hear who you think could potentially sacrifice themselves, what characters you think might perish in the battle against the Collector. I was even thinking like maybe Darius could sacrifice himself for Hunter. We could also see Alador sacrifice himself for Amity, stuff like that. I don't know, there's a lot of parents who I could see sacrificing themselves for their children. You know, you gotta protect those kiddos. One last thing I forgot to mention earlier, I didn't write this down, but while I was talking about it, I thought about it. This is something that's like almost guaranteed to happen, but I really cannot wait to see the interaction between Ida and Camila. I think that's going to be so interesting because we know how Camila feels about the Demon Realm. She hates it. She wants Luz to come home. But after Luz and the others tell her the whole story and she hears everything, I think she'll definitely be more inclined to be grateful to Ida. I don't know. I just feel like it'd be such a nice interaction, especially Ida even feeling really awkward because she knows that Camila is Luz's mom. So she's going to have to be like, oh, hey, you're the real mother. Haha. I've been taking care of your kid. I love her. I wish she could stay here with me because I'll be lonely without her. Like, Ida loves Luz as if Luz was her own daughter. So it's gonna be kind of really interesting. I feel like it'd be even really awkward for Ida because she would kind of want Luz to stay there with her as well. I feel like, again, another thing, if Ida realizes that like Luz is leaving, maybe she'll find a spot for King as well. Obviously, King is a Clawthorn. She's adopted King. That is her like actual son. But like maybe, like I said earlier, if King did go to Earth, which I doubt he'll go to Earth, but like if he did, maybe Ida would be like, all right, you know, you're the one person I trust to take care of my son King, because, you know, I took care of your daughter, I can trust you to take care of my son. Maybe after Ida realizes that Luz and King are safe in Camila's hands, she might sacrifice herself because she has nothing else. Like once she knows her children are safe, she'll be fine with doing what she's got to do. I don't know, just a thing. But either way, regardless of like that whole sacrifice thing with Ida, I really want to see Camila and Ida interact. I think that's honestly the interaction that I'm looking forward to the most. And if it doesn't happen, I'll be really sad. But it's got to happen. It's definitely got to happen. I can't wait to see that happen. And definitely let me know what your hopes and wishes are for the Owl House Season 3. There's definitely a lot to talk about. And I probably even have more stuff, theories, hopes, wishes that I didn't even talk about in these 2 videos. So I might even make another video or 2 before Owl House Season 3 comes out. So definitely let me know what you're thinking. I always love hearing from all of you. I read every single comment. And even though I don't get to respond to them all, I like trying to heart them also. You know I've read them. So yes, thank you for leaving those comments. I do enjoy reading them. So yeah, that'll be it for me. And I'll see you all later, everybody. Have yourselves a great day. Bye-bye.